Nahmaduhu wa nasalli ala rasulihil karim. One of the things that most Muslim get into when they come to Europe or the US is when they hear something about religion that somebody tells them, and they don't know how to figure that out. Another thing that they face is the pressure from the society. The third thing they face is peer pressure that they face, and they are unable to figure out some of those things. And I'm going to address that in a very plain and simple way, that if somebody tells you something about faraid, which are the obligation in religion, and how do you need to counter that? One thing is to just use your common sense, which can turn out to be extremely dangerous for you later on. And the other thing is to ensure that access Quran, retrieve the relevant ayahs, read the relevant hadiths, because they are on the fingertips. You can type in the Google, you can go to Quran.com and find out what is being said about that particular topic. And relying just solely on somebody, anybody saying something to you, can turn out to be extremely dangerous, because we are given this one chance of performing in this dunya, and at the time the soul is being taken out, nothing will be accepted, and nobody will be allowed to come back and redo the whole thing. Nobody will be allowed this. And there are 21 places in Quran which talks about the people when their soul is taken off them, when they are dying and moving to the next world, that they say, oh alas, if we were with those people who were following Allah. Oh alas, if we would have listened to Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Oh alas, if I would have been this and that. So at that time nothing will help. Another thing is that when Hazrat Musa alayhi salatu wasalam, Moses was conversing with Fir'aun, there is an ayah in Quran that says to the effect that his heart accepted that whatever Musa alayhi salam is preaching is true and accurate, and that his God is the creator of the heavens and earth. However, he did not proclaim this verbally. He did not say this, because Iman is accepted only when you accept it in your heart and proclaim it with your tongue. Iqrarum bil lisani wa tasdiqum bil qalb. And if one doesn't do this, it's not accepted. Another very important thing to consider for every Muslim is to ensure that there are two shahadatain. One is ashhadu an la ilaha illallah, that there is no creator except Allah, that He is the only one who alone is the Rabbul Alameen. And the second one is ashhadu anna Muhammadan abduhu rasuluhu, that Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam is the last prophet, is the prophet of Allah, and he is a human being. He's an abd. Now, this can make anybody Muslim if they proclaim this. But what does it mean? It means that there are two things. One of them is the Book of Allah, which has commandments from Allah, a direct commandment from the Creator of the heavens and earth. And the second is a hadith. Now, uh, one thing I've noticed, that a lot of people will interpret things themselves. However, they do not spend enough time. They do not even would not read the ayah or the hadith, and they don't know how to interpret a hadith. What are the categories of hadith? And Imam Bukhari, who was an amazing individual, compiled all these hadiths into Sahih Bukhari and Sahih Muslim, and in other books. Those ulama, those who have spent their lifetime, doing this marvelous job, have compiled this. Now, if we use our, common sense and consider our own self as reverend and as supreme, then we will lead ourselves we will lead ourselves astray, and we will lead all those who are around us, believing that we know, astray too. So instead of doing this, we should always, for example, if somebody says something is halal, if it is done a certain way, we need to directly approach the Quran and find out what Quran says about this, and see, how Allah has defined halal. And there are ayahs directly addressing this. Then if somebody says, I feel like I'm performing 5 times prayer at home and I don't feel like going to Jummah, that one should directly approach Quran, Surah Jummah, and find out what is the order of Allah. What has He obligated on us regarding Friday prayer? And if somebody says you can go ahead and combine 2 or 3 salahs together, then we still need to go to Quran and find out what Allah has said about this, and find out exactly how we need to perform those prayers, instead of just accepting somebody's decree on this. Now, if we still fail to understand some of the issue that is might be thrown at us, then we can contact a mufti, an alim, and tell him this is my issue. He is going to address the issue with evidence, with proofs, and everything, and that can put us on the straight path. But using our common sense and considering ourselves as reverent is can lead us astray, which means that being led astray is extremely dangerous, because in the world, compared to the hereafter, is like comparing nothing with infinity. There is a hadith of Rasulullah Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam which says that if you put your finger in the sea and take it out, the water that's on the finger is this world, and the rest of the sea is the hereafter. Um, if we closely analyze religions, we find out that a lot of different followers of various religions are particular. And if we look at Judaism, because they were among the descendants of Hazrat Ibrahim al Islam, that is more relevant to Muslims. We see that all the prophets carried the same message, the oneness of Allah, and up until to the end. We believe Hazrat Isa alayhi salam also preached oneness of Allah. But that is a long discussion of how it became Trinity, so I'm not going to get into that. And then Hazrat Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam was from the descent of Hazrat Ibrahim alayhi salam via Hazrat Ismail alayhi salam, and he was the last of the prophet. And this is the book which is uncorrupted. This cannot be corrupted in any way. The translations and things that people do, they have the choice to choose their word, but they can still not deviate from the meaning of the ayah. And this is the last testament, like it is said, the Old Testament and the New Testament. So this is the last testament. And anything that we need to understand, we need to always approach Quran, and if it's clear from there, we can stop there. If it's not, then we can go to Sahih Bukhari, Sahih Muslim, Tirmizi. If we still don't understand it, we cannot claim to be master of everything. If I'm, for example, a computer scientist and I also claim to be expert of religion, then that would be unfair, because those who are studying religion, most of them study it for at least 8 months, and those who can issue degrees, they study it up to 12 years. So be very careful, safeguard your iman. It's the most precious thing that one can ever have. You can have hasana of this dunya and hasana of akhirah, but losing iman will be like losing everything, because you won't know how to perform your life on this planet. So you'll make mistakes and lose the hasana of this dunya. And if you are away from deen, from the commandments of Allah and the way of Rasulullah Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam, then one surely loses the hereafter too. So just an advice for all those living in Europe, US, and countries where there is no Muslim majority. There are not many masajid. There are not many ulama. That you should use this simple mechanism to find out what the truth is, because um, relying on conjecture or your personal feeling can turn out to be very dense. Thank you for watching this video, and please share so that everybody gets the right message. Thanks.